That transfer deadline shuts at 7 o'clock this evening, and West Ham United are beginning to make moves. It looks like Axel Disasi will become a West Ham player today. Talks have been progressing throughout yesterday and today. There's been a little bit of um, shanty kind of thing happening over the last few hours or so regarding whether he actually wants to join the club. But it seems like Chelsea and West Ham have come to an agreement, and Axel Disasi is very imminently going to be taking a medical at West Ham. We've got various sources saying different things. It's a frantic transfer deadline day. We're not entirely sure what is going to happen, but the latest information that we have received is that Axel Disasi is going to be having a medical at West Ham, but there's just some final things that need to be tied up before that does happen. Jacob Steinberg of The Guardian, a very reputable, I should say, West Ham source, has said in the last half an hour there's more optimism now that Axel Disasi is ready to join West Ham. The medical is scheduled for the Chelsea defender this afternoon. Now, this comes after there was some prior concern a little bit earlier on that he actually didn't want to come to the club at all, of course, because if you cast your mind back to August, it was reported that Disasi actually didn't want to move for West Ham. He just didn't want to come. Now, he hasn't played since April for Chelsea. He has been out for a long, long time. He's been training separately. He's just not been part of the plans of Maresca, and seemingly Rosenior is not going to be making the move to bring him into the squad. So we don't know at this current moment in time. We are in a state and period of limbo where we just aren't entirely sure whether he wants to come and whether the deal will get done. As I said, various reports saying various different things, and we will see. We will see. I mean, according to Sky Sports, Disasi is yet to undergo his medical. It was booked for 9:30 this morning, so there's clearly some hold up. There's clearly some issue that hasn't been sort of tied up, which is frustrating. But there's still a few hours to go for West Ham to get us over the line. Matthew, thanks for joining us. Stalling, I hear. Yeah, there's been various reports that are suggesting that it's not all plain sailing with this move. Only West Ham can F up loan signings. Absolutely. That is for sure. We will see what happens. Pinnock will be better. He's a good player. I prefer Harwood Bellis, but it seems like that ship has sailed. Lee, hope you well. Disasi moved to West Ham in doubt. It's going to be a frantic last few hours, I must say. I've got the Premier League run that show at 7 o'clock. When it slams shut, I may be on just a little bit before. I'll be then on after I finish that. We're going to do a full review of the West Ham transfer window live here at 8 o'clock this evening. More comments. I'm getting my haircut this Friday, Peter. You will be glad to know the haircut will be happening this Friday. All right, let's have a look here. Sam, hope you well. It will be an upgrade on Kilman, and I'm heavily overweight. Heavily overweight, got 2 left feet. Yes, I'm right-footed, and have never played centre back. You'd be an upgrade, Sam. I'd agree. You would be better than Kilman. So if we could get anybody over the line today, then that would be helpful. Clown Cottney hasn't played for the first team since the 20th of January 2025. He's been out for a long time. For whatever reason, he's not fancied or favoured at Chelsea, and maybe he doesn't want the move, and maybe that's beginning to tell us a little bit about the player as well. We don't need egos. We don't need anything of the sort in this, in this squad. We have got our backs against the wall here. We're deep in trouble. We need a defender. Craig Dawson. What would we do for a Craig Dawson? Now, you all know and are aware of my admiration for Craig Dawson, but that type of player is exactly what's required. Listen, if it were me, Harwood Bellis or Disasi, I'm taking Harwood Bellis, but it seems like we don't want to pay the money, and they're asking for more than we are required to pay or have to pay, to be honest. So £12 million bid was rejected. That was after a loan bid was rejected. So I feel like we've hit a brick wall with that one, and it seems like we've put all of our eggs into the Disasi basket. And it seems like we've got a player here that doesn't overly seem too bothered. If he was bursting to play first team football, then he'd have been there and had his medical this morning, maybe even yesterday. We've got a player that is stalling. We've got a deal that is in the balance currently with not a lot of hours left of this transfer window, and again, it will come back to the old adage, won't it? We tried. Somebody's put in the chat there. They go, Chris, we tried. That's exactly what we're going to hear tomorrow if this deal doesn't get over the line. The issue that I have is that we've all knew we needed a centre back since the transfer deadline shut in August or start of September, whenever it was. We've needed a player for a long time in that position, and that's been accentuated even more now because we've lost Todibo for 3 games. I don't want to be going to Burnley on Saturday having to watch Max Kilman. I fear I'm going to have to, but we've now got 3 games where Max Kilman at the moment by default is going to have to play centre back alongside Konstantinos Mavropanos, um, which is going to be a tough watch, to be honest. So if that wasn't an even bigger push up the arse from West Ham to get some players through the door, and again, yesterday, you'd think we lost. We were in a winning position on Saturday, right? We were 2-0 up, cruising, and then it all unravels, as we've spoke about. It all unraveled in that second half. And then we got a player sent off. So we already wanted a centre back, and now we've lost another centre back for 3 games. So it would surely send a fire at the backside and say, right, let's get one done yesterday. Didn't hear a peep. Nobody was working there yesterday. They all took the day off, right? So they come in today. Maybe some people were working, but not too much, right? You think yesterday they'd get a deal done. A proper club would have got a deal done by midday yesterday. Get a centre back through the door. If they want 15 million quid for Harwood Bellis, give them 15 million quid. Because quite frankly, if he's poor, then he's just added to a long list of poor players. But at least we have a go with him. He's played in the Premier League before. He seems okay. I think he'd do a job for us. It's not as if, and if money is tight, then we should go back and say, well, look at all the money we've wasted in the past, right? Look at all the money we've wasted in the past. Gila Herme, 30 million, waste of time. The list goes on. Max Kilman, 40 million. So if we waste another 15 million, then it doesn't really, it doesn't really hurt, does it? But there's a slight chance that we might have a player that gets us out of this relegation battle. But currently, we're dithering away a bit. And we used to talk about dithering David Moyes. We've now got dithering David Sullivan. We've had him for a long time. I need to take a breath here. I was all relaxed about 8 minutes ago, but it's all got a little bit it's all gone to my head. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, we've got to sit back now and go, look, the transfer window shuts at 7. We're approaching 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. We've got 4 hours and 20 minutes left of this January transfer window. Bearing in mind this transfer window has lasted a month and we've had all month to sign a centre back, and we've waited until now to do it. Right, let's take some comments. Now that it is Anton. That is a greeting which only one man uses. Anton, I hope you are well. Good to hear from you. Hope all is well up there. We need another 10 in the squad. Well, a centre attacker, definitely. I present you Tottenham Hotspur. They are currently without 11 first-team players. If you take 11 first-team players out of our squad, we've got nothing left. We've got nothing left. We've literally got nothing. We are currently relying on about 13 players, right? And they're not going out and signing someone on deadline day when we're in a relegation battle with our backs against the wall. We need defenders, so get it done. And today will just be added to a long list of deadline days where we've tried and we've failed. And it just adds to the doom, doesn't it? Hopefully Palace take Kilman. I mean, in a normal situation, a scenario, I'd say yes. But if they take Kilman, then all we've got left is Mavropanos. And yes, I could probably take a point if somebody says that nothing is better than Kilman, then I would probably take that point on board. But all joking aside, we could be left, if he goes to Palace, and he's no loss, by the way, but he's a body, we'd then have one fit centre half at the football club. How are we going to end this transfer window weaker than we did at the start of it? We all said coming into the month, Happy New Year, sign some players. And to be fair to West Ham, we went Happy New Year and we signed some players. We got Pablo, we got Tati, and they've both slotted in quite nicely. They have a good 50 minutes every week and they've made a positive impact. But then we went to sleep for a fortnight. We did absolutely nothing. And then we woke up again and signed Traore. And now it seems like we've fallen asleep at the wheel again. We are sleepwalking to relegation. We're not even sleepwalking, we're sleep running to relegation. We are going at quite the pace to the Championship. And we've got, again, a final opportunity to try and bring some reinforcements in to make that change. Bring some defenders in. We cannot mark from crosses. How many analysts and coaches do you need to pay hundreds of thousands of pounds to work out that we can't mark from crosses. Week after week, I go and I watch that team, and the ball gets played into the box, and somehow, funnily enough, the opposition striker finds himself in the middle of our two centre halves in 5 yards of space. That's not a coincidence. That happens every single week. Find some defenders that can mark. Find some defenders that can defend to start with. Because yes, Mavropanos and Todibo, they're okay for the time being, but I draw the line at Kilman. He's useless. As Sam said, he'd be better than, Noel or Liam Gallagher would be better than Kilman, for goodness sake, right? And we're still sat here dithering on deadline day, not getting the deals done. It's 20 to 3, right? It's 20 to 3 on deadline day, and it seems like we've put all the eggs in a Disasi basket and we're not really looking anywhere else. And if that fails, then we tried. That's exactly what's going to happen. In the next hour, you watch, Disasi might come out and say, actually, I don't want the move. Then we're buggered, right? Completely. Completely. Disasi has played 2 under 21 games since April, and we've decided to go all in on him. I'm not going to judge him until I saw him, because I judged Craig Dawson and then he was very good. So I don't like judging centre halves until I've seen them in a West Ham shirt. But I take the point. It's dubious. It's something not quite right there with him. Good afternoon, Dad. I hope you're hard at work. Hi, Jake Sullivan has always been after Chalobah, but he's played his way into the Chelsea fold. So Disasi is second best in that regard. We tried, absolutely. We have a rugby board. We tried and failed. Don't go to bed. Well, we can't even have our fun this transfer window because it shuts at 7 o'clock. I was really looking forward to staying up to 11 and seeing if we signed anybody. Window shuts at 7. I mean, who decided that? Another thing that's annoyed me today. Honestly, I'm on one right now. I apologise. I'm on one. Go to bed. Exactly. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We'll play Dino and Magassa at the back Saturday. Anything's better than Kilman. You could chuck. I'd arguably say you could chuck Souček back there and bring Potts into midfield. I think Souček would probably do a better job centre half than Matt Kilman. Saw room at Ipswich want Potts. Well, they can politely be declined, can't they? Geezer. I try my best. Mr. Baker. Disasi is on 80 grand a week, and I can guarantee you Sullivan won't want to pay that, will he? If you could sign one player, well, I mean, we're only being linked with one player at the moment, and that's Disasi. There seems to be nothing else going on. It seems like the signing Kinski from Spurs has ended, which I'm glad of, because that was, again, one of the most pointless signings that I've ever come across in Premier League history. But I'm refreshing my Twitter, and I'm looking at this, and it's so sad. It's so sad. Look, it says the medical scheduled for this afternoon, but Sky said the medical was scheduled for 9:30 this morning, so it's not filling me with much hope, if I'm being totally honest. I know, honestly, I know, Peter. Jake, stop letting the club get to you. I shouldn't, but I do, unfortunately. Right, where did I get with these comments? Charlie Creswell would be my top signing today, absolutely, but we've closed the shop, essentially. We've gone down one road, and that's the Disasi road, and to reopen or open and navigate down any other transfer now, it's going to be incredibly hard, because A, clubs are going to know we're desperate because there's 4 hours to go on deadline day, and B, we haven't got the money and Sullivan doesn't want to pay the money, right? It is lunacy, complete lunacy. Pinnock would be better than all of these anyways, absolutely. Jake, yellow sticker buys/loans. The Chelsea guy hasn't played for a year, so won't be match fit. Exactly. So it's not as if he can just slot into the side at Burnley on Saturday in a relegation 6-pointer in a really tough game. Clueless. Exactly. It will take him a month to get up to full fitness. I just cannot get my head around it. I want to bang my head against this desk. It's ridiculous. I did see that. Calvin Phillips has just joined Sheffield United. Yeah. Board preparing for the Championship by clearing up the squad. My only logical conclusion to this is Sullivan has decided that he doesn't want to chuck any more money at it. He's thinking we're a sinking ship, and he's just accepted our reality right now. That's the only thing that I can come to, because even for him, this seems ridiculous. And I know we set a really low bar for him, but surely anybody who wants this club to do well would be hammer and tong trying to sign a centre half today. Right, before we go any further, we've got 70 people watching this. There's only 20 likes. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Let's get that up towards 50 likes. Let's double it at least to up to 40. Everybody, if you're watching now, if you want West Ham to sign a centre back today, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's have a look here. Look of started looking so many months ago. We're way too predictable and we're not going to get anyone. Exactly. What do this scouting team do all year? Do they just go on a big bender from September to December? Do they just not bother? Are they on gardening leave? Right? What are they doing all this time? It just seems like lastminute.com every single time. We've got a month. It's like me with my uni assignments going, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it till the last night, which some people do, but I'm quite organized. I don't do that. Leave it till the last minute, and it always doesn't work. Honestly, if you, what's the saying? If you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. If you prepare to fail, you fail to prepare. The other way around. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Um, let's have a look at this here. Sorry, you need to lean wide. Don't throw good money after bad. That's why we're in this mess. So not previously relegated players. Me, thanks. Fine, fine. But I mean, at this current moment in time, there's no other options that are being given to us, and we're not going to reopen. We're not going to go down completely new routes with 4 hours to go on the eighth hour of deadline day, are we? So with the options that we've got available, I prefer Harwood Bellis to Disasi, in my opinion. But listen, I prefer a better centre back over both of them. But I mean, there was a point where we were linked with 33-year-old John Egan, and I thought that was going to finish it all off. Should have started looking months ago. Absolutely, for sure. Peter Odewingie is outside in his car at Rush Green. Dunk, he's a Dawson-like player, isn't he? Why don't we try something a bit different? People will criticise it, but I think it's better than the two options that we have been presented today. Lee says, if we don't want to move, we need to move on to other players. With our trousers pulled down by Wolves over Kilman, Sullivan is a cause for this. Absolutely. The recruitment strategy and the way we go about it is just diabolical. There's no other way of putting it. It is utterly diabolical. Burton a good bet to beat us. Imagine that. Imagine that. Do you know what? I was looking yesterday, and I mean, we say this every year, but we're a couple of favourable draws away from the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. And regardless of how bad we are in the Premier League, we can use the FA Cup as a get-out. And we did earlier on. QPR, that game came at the perfect time, a weaker opponent, and it gave us a bit of confidence. If we beat Burton, we're into the fifth round, then we'll get Man United away. But if then we're in the sixth round, we're talking quarter-final stages then. Magassa could be gone by the time the window shuts also, which would be ridiculous. It would be stupid, but there we go. I mean, yeah, we need two centre backs, and we're not going to sign two. I don't even think we're going to sign one, to be honest. I'm convinced we won't sign one before the end. Squad of 16 is enough. I mean, we haven't even got 16 at this current moment in time. And all you've got to do, as I said, is look at Spurs. You've got 11 out. They've had to have a squad of about 30, and look at them. We've been so lucky with injuries and things. We've got through the season relatively unscathed, apart from Paqueta's back problem, but that seemed to be resolved for him to play for him to play for Flamengo at the weekend. But it's just an awful transfer strategy. We've been we've been renamed the Campires, vampires, as we are scared of crosses. That's very good. Do you know what? I didn't quite get it from the first comment, but that's very good, Peter. I admire that. All three of our centre backs are useless. I think there's a little bit with Tadibo and Mavropanos. Kilman's a lost cause, but there's a slight bit of quality with the other two, but it's not where we need to be. We need a centre back that can head the ball and commands the box. We need someone to command the box because Areola doesn't command the box and none of the centre halves command the box. 15 million for Harwood Bellis, get it done. If not, get his father-in-law out of retirement to play for us. Is that Roy Keane? Did I read that somewhere? Is Roy Keane his father-in-law? What we do for a player with his spirit and passion right now. Let's have a look here. We can't mark from crosses. West Ham would lose at noughts and crosses. Very good. Very, very good. Anyone is better than Kilman, bro. You are absolutely right. How are balls getting Angel Gomez over us? I mean, clubs are run better than us. Wolves aren't run very well, but they're run better than us. That's a loan as well. Sullivan will be bidding in 500 grand increments. You can imagine he's stingy now. He spent all his money on Pablo and Tati. He thinks we're going to go down and he's not going to waste a penny more. I can see it coming. Forest going for Hayden Hackney, again, another player we were linked with and we should have got over the line. Absolutely. Just again, too many targets, decent targets we have let sail by, without bringing them in. 80 watching, only 31 likes. Smash that like button if you haven't already. You might get a joke. You might get a joke from me if you're lucky a little bit later on. Shall I donate £5 for a haircut? No need. I'm getting a haircut on Friday, and it's all going to be okay. So all of you can rest assured that on Saturday or whenever the next video is after Friday evening, this hair will be cut. And then you'd all say you can't tell a difference, but the hair is being cut on Friday. Can we unlike to stop the joke? No. No, the jokes are ready. They're just being thought of, and they will be coming to you very, very shortly. If we get up to 100 watching, there might be a joke. Zuma on a free. Honestly, him and his dodgy knees are better than Kilman. Rosinha whispered in Bowen's ear at the end of the game, tapping him up. Of course he was. Honestly, sign Craig Dawson now. Where is he? Honestly, someone get Ballon Dawson back into this West Ham fold right now. Breaking news. You know that breaking news thing that I put up? I can also put up a like and subscribe one, which is also jazzy. Look at that. I'll take that comment off. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's have a look here. Might as well get another striker as in we can't defend. Antonio, imagine getting him back. Dawson seems low risk if we can also get somebody else. Scouts are pointless. Scouts are pointless. They get players. Then Sullivan tries to get his agents involved and deals, and it's hard to disagree with that one. We all know about that all too well, don't we? But it is what it is. I have noticed that the viewership has gone down as I threatened a joke for 100 viewers watching live. So maybe that's telling me something. Sullivan saves money on scout wage, he does, and player wages. John Victor is still waiting at the airport. I think the board has accepted relegation. I wouldn't be surprised if we're sold next season, but that'd not make a lot of sense on the other hand, because we'd be worth considerably less if relegated. I mentioned this on my early morning video and morning update this morning that, I think Sullivan's checked out. I think he will sell the club in the next 2 years, but it's within his best interest to keep us up because he's going to get considerably more money for the club if he sells it when we're in the Premier League, in sort of comparison to the Championship. So can't get my head around it at all. Paqueta's back problem was he wanted to go back home. Very good. Very good indeed. Lots of under 21 players out of contract in the summer, so we won't have many of them in the Championship next season. Honestly, we are a crumbling club. We're a crumbling club. A wheelie bin is better than Kilman. Another very good comment. Um, Milan spotted Mateta knee problem. Hasn't Mateta gone to Forest? Haven't they signed Mateta and Strand Larsen, or have I dreamed that? Right, where did I get to? We don't have European football or Carabao Cup, so it's 14 games and one cup game, which we'll be in for another 2 rounds. Very true. Magasa, Wan-Bissaka, and Suchek can play centre back. That's how the board see it. Also, a strong chance of relegation. I would be putting Suchek in at centre half at Burnley on Saturday, unless we sign a better centre half than Kilman, which is anyone at this point. But you get my point. I really don't think that we will sign anyone else. Hi Jake, hope you're well. Lee, are we going to sign any new players for the transfer deadline at 7 o'clock? I doubt it. I'm getting more and more negative thoughts through, and the drip feeding from sources that we're getting is not positive at this current moment in time. But that can all change in a blink of an eye. It wouldn't surprise me if we got Disasi, but he's just striking me as not the right player at this current moment in time. He's not eager for the move. He hasn't played proper football for about a year. Just seems like the wrong sort of character for me. Get him back in his dodgy knees. Get his dodgy knees back at this football club. Jake wanted to become a stand-up comedian, but everyone kept telling him to sit down. Very good. Very good. Anyone on the freebie list? Must be some good centre backs on there just to get us by. I mean, there must be, but it seems like we are all the eggs in one basket. Lunacy. But there we go. Trodge, if we beat Chelsea, I think we would have bought one or two potentially. It seems deflating, that loss. Disasi's nickname is Disaster. Disasi the Disaster. Try saying that after a few. Yeah, very good. Very good indeed. So that's where we currently are. Unfortunately, there's not a lot else to say because we're not linked with any other players, because unless West Ham are going to pull a rabbit out of a hat and they have not told any club sources about any other transfers, then it seems like it's going to be Disasi or bust for West Ham this evening. I'm going to rejoin you at 6 o'clock for about half an hour. And then I'll have the Premier League Roundup show. Sean and Josh will be joining me at 7 o'clock as the window slams shut. Then I'll be back with you at 8 o'clock for a full Premier League, West Ham transfer deadline day review and whole transfer window review with a couple of guests, I think, here at 8 o'clock. So you've got plenty of me to feast your eyes upon. If you missed my video earlier on, I spoke about my feelings and thoughts this morning ahead of deadline day at about 7:30. So go and watch that. If you want to see early morning Jake, you've now had afternoon Jake. You'll see early evening Jake at 6 o'clock. So hit that notification bell. I will rejoin you right here at 6 o'clock on West Ham Unofficial. And hopefully by then we've got a little bit more progress in the 3 hours that I'm going to go and have a lie down between now and then. But to reiterate, at this current moment in time, it's Axel Disasi or nothing, and it seems like that deal is stalling. We're not sure whether he wants to join the club. There was a medical booked for this morning. It's now booked for this afternoon, and who knows whether he is anywhere near Rush Green or anywhere in the vicinity, to be totally honest. So your guess is as good as mine at the moment. But thank you everybody for your contributions in the live chat. It has been greatly appreciated. I'm going to now go and get some lunch. Honestly, I hope you've liked this dedication. I've come straight from uni, straight in at 2:30. I'm going to go and get some lunch. But from me, come on, you irons. Don't go to bed just yet. There's still a glimmer of hope for West Ham. There's a glimmer of hope that something might get done this evening. I did watch actually. Gio had Harry Redknapp, a very good interview on Hammer's chat. If you haven't seen it already, you need to get a star on like Britney Spears. Andy Carroll would do a better job than Kilman. Might get a goal from a corner. When was the last time a centre back scored? That's very true. Has he? Magassa played centre back for Monaco, so that could be an option. I like Souček. Yeah, I'd put Souček in there, but Magassa potentially because he's not exactly getting utilised at in the midfield at the moment, is he? But that's all food for thought if we don't sign a centre back. But from me, that's it. Come on, you irons, and I will see you back here at 6 o'clock for our next transfer deadline day update. I might have a yellow tie. I don't think I've got one, but I'll try and find one. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.